Give me a hug, Dad! Give me a hug!
For 26 years for Dan. It's amazing the amount of lives that you've touched, and myself included. My life has drastically changed because of that man right there, Mr. Dan Gray. Yes. Extremely thankful for the opportunity that this man has given me and my family, and just the impact that he's had with giving me the opportunity to come here and not only work with him, but to be able to work with so many wonderful people. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. And so, Mr. Dan Gray, thank you so much for the opportunity. I love you, man. Thank you.
Daniel P. Gray was born March 2nd, 1965 in a small hospital in Rutland, Vermont. Actually, you said 35 minutes, so it's okay, right? Wait. 5 minutes?
Too funny.
What? Turn it over. Let's give it a go. Okay. Let's fast forward then and get faster. We'll pass 25 plus years to 1992. And I'm looking for Intermountain Section was playing a team tennis event, and I couldn't find where I was supposed to be. So, this cart maintenance guy comes up next to me, and he says, I know you. You're Karen Sather. You're the director of tennis at the Denver Country Club. And my boss, Chuck Gill, knows you, and he says that you have an opening for a head tennis professional, and I would like to apply for that. And I said, well, let's talk later. I was mad myself back then. But this handsome man escorted me to my court, and later that evening, my husband Mark and I, and his wife, and Dan, we met at Pete Rose's, and we talked and talked. Maybe there was a cocktail or two, I'm not sure. But we talked, and I offered Dan a job. 50 cards later. So he shows up the next morning at a hotel on Colorado Boulevard in the parking lot, and I meet him there, and he has this little toddler boy next to him named Justin. And he has this little baby girl in his arms, Jamie. And I say to myself, oh my God. Is this man going to make enough money at the Denver Country Club as a tennis pro to make a living? And yes, Dan was, as you know, a huge success. 4.5 years later, Dan, the position at the Denver Tennis Club, director of tennis, is open. And Dan wants to apply. So, sadly, and kind of coincidentally, I know Jack Lewis, who is the president of the Denver Tennis Club, and he is a partner of my husband, Mark Sather. So we introduce Dan to Jack. And that's sort of my story with Dan Gray. I love you. I lost a tennis professional, but I gained a lifetime friend, and I love you.
Dan and I hit it off right away with sloppy dressers and connoisseurs of cheap beer.
I got more to add.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I love the DTC. I've loved being here for many years. I live 4 blocks from here, not by accident. And I'm so glad I've spent the last 27 with Dan Gray here.
How I met Dan was, I was at the JCC, and one of his clients, which was my client, said, I think you and Dan should get together. But in my mind, I said, I have no reason to get together with Dan. I know how he hits, and I know how I hit the ball. But lo and behold, we finally got together, and I found out that I need to learn how he hits the ball. But the fact that Dan took a chance on me changed everything for me. I want to tell you about our Key West trip. We was walking down the street, riding on a bike. The flat tire went off, and
so many things I could say, but I won't. I came to the Denver Tennis Club back in 2011. Pretty much started at the front desk, literally on my own that day. And Dan Gray felt a lot of pity for me and came and checked on me, make sure everything was all right. I wasn't starting the place on fire, and I right then and there knew that this was a special person, and I had no idea what it was going to grow into. He asked me to come along on this unbelievable ride of his, and I was honored, shocked, scared out of my mind, but I jumped on and said, if he can do it, I can do it, right? It's Dan Gray. We can do this together. Absolutely. We built a lot of things together. All of you standing out there are as part of our spirit of the club. We feel that we have built on that, and we made it so great. There's a wait list still out here. I'm not sure. I've been gone for 2 years. We built this beautiful clubhouse. We built 10 brand new courts. We went through COVID, not an easy feat. Actually, most of us should still have our masks on. But we just did a lot of things that nobody thought we could ever get through, but we did it, and we did it together, and it was an unbelievable experience, and all of you were part of it, but Dan Gray was the backbone of it. Yeah, we did some great things together. But one of the best things that we did together was become really good friends. I just want to wish him the best of luck in his next endeavors. Jennifer, good luck. And I wish him only the best. And I wish him a very short commute. We love you, man.
I thought you said it was going to be a simple party, Eileen.
Thank you, Meg.
Remarkable what you can learn about a man who starts drinking at 7:30 in the morning. Dan's legacy at DTC will be profound and lasting. He's a tennis pro, teacher, damn good at both of these, and he may be the only tennis pro in the world with expertise in snowblower.
Dan is nice enough to guide us through all this. He guided us through putting all the shelving in the shed. Meg and I did the work. In recognition of his countless contributions to the sport of tennis, snow removal efforts, and the Denver Tennis Club, Dan Gray, on this day of October 20th, 2023, is awarded honorary membership into the prestigious and scurrilous, deplorable elite tennis group of the Denver Tennis Club. Thank you, Dan.
Here's what Patty wrote. This is what Patty wrote. Boy, this is a hard one. How do you honor a man who's been my best friend, mentor, teacher, and confidant for the last 25 years? Another gift of Dan's is his people skills. I think he could get along with anyone. Running the DTC is no easy matter, and Dan has done it with great panache and equality. Bravo, and I cherish the time we spent together. Sending big, big hugs to my fourth son. With love, Patty. I know you have a team,
but you've been the leader of this team for a lot of years, and I can just tell you that your support of the foundation has been year after year, time and time again. You've always been there for us and for the kids we serve and everything else, and that really, really matters. You've always been just the consummate professional, and always is the word that I don't use lightly. You have. Every single time we've reached out, every single time we've connected, you've been really the so genuine, so sincere, and so good at what you do that we really, on behalf of both organizations, we want to thank you for everything that this club has been and what you've done for us.
Dan always knew. Yeah, as everyone knows, he's very empathetic. He knows exactly what's going on in your life, and he cares so much about what's going on. And he called me and my friend up to the net, and he's like, look, we have to pretend that we're working hard out here because your mom is watching. And so we were at the net, and we're just chatting, and he's making like shadow swing motions to really sell it that he's coaching. And we laughed about it, but I remember that story very differently because it was then that I knew, and I always knew, that Dan cared far more about me as a person than me as a tennis player. He always cared about how I was doing, how I was feeling. And there's not many coaches out there like that. There's just not. I don't think I've had one ever since. So really all I can think to say is thank you. I would have never had the career that I did. I never would have. I now coach tennis a little bit, and I keep that thought in mind when I'm coaching, that I always want to care about my students as people more than tennis players, and that's because of what Dan taught me and how Dan treated me. So thank you so much for being my coach.
What was Dan's childhood nickname? All right, Baby Cow. Little Baby Cow right here. Give a hand for Baby Cow. All right, second question. What is Dan's middle name? There is Paul.
Dan Gray, the person, not the fish. Not to be confused by Dan Gray, the fish, not the person, who does live in my home. Yes, that's a true story. We have a fish named Dan Gray, the fish, not the person. And that's because Dan Gray has played such a pivotal role in my family's life. A lifetime honorary membership of the Denver Tennis Club that we are presenting to Dan Gray. And we hope you absolutely realize that Dan Gray, we present you with $14,000. Just for now.
It's heartwarming to see you all here. I know how much Dan appreciates it, and I wish I could have some funny jokes, but if you know Dan, he's the funny one and I'm the straight man. I'm so glad he picked me. I'm not sure why. I'm the least athletic person any of you will have ever met, but I am super excited that Sammy and Martinelli and I have so much in common, because I too face planted like right over there. That was a memorable experience. But I know Dan just loves this club, and he loves all of you, and I know he makes that long drive home to see me and for me and our kids, and he's just such a giving, warm, and wonderful man. He thinks about this club all the time. He answers texts, he returns emails in the middle of the night. He's had lots of sleepless nights trying to just promote this club to what it is today, which is just this amazing community place with wonderful relationships. And I know he's always had the vision for this club being a members club, and he's worked tirelessly trying to be fair and trying to make this club what you all want it to be. He really has given his heart and soul to this club. I don't know what else to say, except I will be submitting my invoice for 13 years of free therapy. I'll send that later. But seriously, thank you all, and I'd like to welcome Dan up.
You know. Oh boy. You guys, thank you all so much for taking your Friday night off and coming out for this. When Eileen talked to me, you know, like a week after I gave my notice, she's like, well, we have to have a party. And I'm like, no, I just want to ride off into the sunset. I'm good. I'm so good. And then she said, no, we have to have a party. I'm like, well, I don't really want to do a speech. So here I am. Ironically, I went to Linden State College. I think that was brought up earlier. To be a DJ of all things. But somehow in my second marriage to Jennifer, I married a child psychologist. I didn't know I had anxiety until I married Jennifer. I'm just kidding. Kind of did, but didn't know. But I just can't believe how many people are here, and you guys, Damon, I'm just so happy to give this to you and take it to the next level. I am now just a simple farmer. Last night, Jennifer goes, you gotta write something down because you won't know what to say. You know, so for like 5 days I tried. And the truth is, I want to say thank you to everybody individually. I mean, Meg, I can see Meg there, my ADD's coming in. There's Meg. Like, I just thought, if I start, where do I stop? Because I need to thank everybody. And it's been a great 26 years, 26 and a half, I like to say. 26 and a half, that counts the City Open for the 27th time, just to be clear. So I did write the most boring thank you speech on the way down in the car with a Bud Light, just to be clear. So I'm not sure how this is gonna come out as I'm looking at it now. But honestly, I'm gonna change just for a second. When Meg showed up, I mean, I was blown away. Sammy Martinelli, I haven't seen Sammy since she left. Maybe once or twice. I am so honored, and I know Bria's out there, and every kid that's here that showed up tonight. Honestly, that is like so special to me. So I just want all of you guys to know how much that means to me. Is Bria out there? Can you wave too? I mean, these are 2, 3. I got like maybe 10 really special kids out there that, you know, I'm so touched that you guys are here tonight. So thank you so much. Michelle Miller, I just saw her when Michael's not here. That's why there's the ADD coming out again. Anyway, so how touching that is, and all the stories I could tell of those years. Next time, maybe for the 100th, we could do one of those interview things where Andy Zoden's here tonight and you could just ask me questions about the club like you do. Hi, Andy. See, look, I'm pulling people out. Look at that. All right, I'm just going to do this one. This has been overwhelming. I actually wrote this before I got here. That's pretty good. This has been overwhelming. It has been overwhelming. Just to see the list of people that signed up. Literally, I was thinking maybe 30 or something like that. I'm just so thankful, and what I'm really thankful about is I didn't have to organize this party. So thankful for that. Hoping I don't have to clean up even, if that's possible. I wrote that one in the car. That was pretty good. When I talked to Jennifer, I said, what do I do? How do I not offend somebody by not thanking them? And she goes, look, get 3 points. You know, you want it to be sentimental? Do you want it to be emotional? Do you want it to be short? I go, no, not any of those. And then she said, do you want it to be like you love the club, or do you want it to be short? So I know she wanted me to be short, so I'm gonna do it right here. Damon, make sure you get some solar lights for the next speech for the next person, okay? So thanks so much to Eileen and Ashley and John and Lindsay, and every other board member. I can't pull them out now because I know that I did want it, but I didn't want this, and you guys went way overboard, and it's awesome, and the membership, thank you so much. I actually texted Eileen this morning, asked if I could zoom in on this instead of showing up, but she didn't answer that one. Thank you to all the board members over all these years. I wasn't always that active on the board, in my early years and stuff, but to give your time for this club and what you do as board members, I appreciated it so much, and I know the members do, but all of you out here, I'm sure there's so many that served over these 26 years, so thank you so much for, being a support system and being a board member. It's awesome, and thank you so much for your time. I want to also add to that, especially a thank you to all the presidents that were on those boards that led that time. I mean, I could go through so many things between clubhouse building, COVID, court construction, but the presidents that put up that 1 or 2 years, it's unbelievable how much time they spend. So I just want to thank all the presidents that became great friends to me because of all the time we spent together. And I know most of you are here tonight. I know Karen's not here tonight, Karen Polzine, but she was awesome too. So all of you deserve like a big round of applause. I would just ask for that. All the staffs and the co-workers that I've been with for 26 years, thank you so much. Some of you aren't here, and some tonight. Sue, Aaron, all the active ones now, Jake is out there somewhere. Thank you so much for supporting me for all those years, and I couldn't do it without you guys because I'm not that good. So thank you. A couple just really fast thank yous at the end here. Mark Scruggs is such a good friend, was such a great head pro for this club and gave his time. So Mark, thanks for coming again tonight, and you're such a good friend. And I didn't put all the state and city open titles we won back in the old days. Well, Andy's gonna probably argue some of those, but I didn't put those on the resume on this party. But Mark and I played together for so many years, and we had such a good time. So thank you, Mark. And Karen Sather, I know she came up early, but the stories that I could add to this at Pete Rose's and what I went through at that time, because the truth is my wife at the time, Darla, said, we have to either go to Vermont or Colorado, because she was a Wyoming cowgirl. And I'm sitting at Pete Rose's and I'm like, well, I'd rather go to Vermont. But I did take that job, and I didn't have any idea what I was getting into. And I remember sitting in our Ford Escort wagon that night when I left, and I went, what did we just do? We are leaving. We're leaving the Boca Raton Resort and Club to go to the Denver Country Club. And but that woman right there gave me the life that I had and got me over here. So thank you so much. You are the responsible one of how it all happened. A really quick special thank you, because the first years were kind of a blur now, but this clubhouse, what Steve Ehrlich, Taylor, and Stacy, and Tom McKenzie, and that whole board did to get this clubhouse like this during that time, that was a big moment. So big round of applause in that special time. I mean, this club is so different now. I can remember sitting with Meg going, did they just do that? Are we going to go through this now? I remember sitting in the office going, are we really doing this? Oh my God. Jennifer Gray, thank you. God, can you imagine I met a child psychologist to marry me? That was a perfect moment. But you've been awesome, and thanks for supporting me and talking me through a lot of this stuff, and love you and thank you so much. You're awesome. Last but not least, I leave you in the great control of my good friend here. As Mark said earlier, you know, Mark and I were talking about bringing Damon in before Mark decided to go on another path. But I said, Damon would come in and play the City Open. He'd be the number 2 or 3 seed. And he just was so nice to me. You know, he'd come in and go, Dan, I love seeing you. I love being here. I love this place. I'm like, are you ready to start teaching? Because you'd be a great fit, you know? So that's how it kind of happened. And I recruited him, and then he kind of decided to stay. And last night we talked like 20 minutes on the phone, and it was emotional. And you know, you're a great fit for this club. That's why I support you. You always are going to be able to call me in it, you know, for like 2 months or 3. But again, you know, good luck to you. I love it. I didn't mean that like good luck to you. I meant good luck to you. But I don't know. I think I'm done. It's been great. I can't believe Meg showed up. It's awesome. And Sue and all the rest of everybody being here. Love all of you. My last thing is, again, thank you for the membership. It's awesome that you all came out. I don't think I'm going to come back because it's never going to be like this again. I mean, nobody's going to come out, I don't think. But thank you, Ashley and Eileen and everybody else. Thank you.
All right, everyone, let's celebrate. Dan Gray.
Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I wanna fly.